Hey, Trent Taylor here from Digging for the Truth, and I thought I would just share a couple of quick thoughts about some things in the news today. Issue or thing number one that actually came up was the Respect for Marriage Act that was voted on yesterday, November 16th, in the Senate, and 12 Republicans joined the Democrats to vote for this measure, many of which say that they're Christian. Basically, this codifies and forces states to recognize same-sex in marriages. And one of the things, this actually goes beyond Oberfeld, that was passed, that required states to hand out issue certificates, but did not require them to respect as traditional marriage, all the laws associated with it. For example, Texas is a state that did not recognize that. And the thing about this is that there's now the unraveling Satan. He hates marriage because it's God's design. God created us in the image. In fact, what happened in was it Genesis 1:27? He says he created man and women. He saw the man, and it wasn't good for man to be alone, so he created him woman. And God constantly throughout the scripture says and talks about the covenant of marriage. So the covenant of marriage can only happen when it is not done in sin. We talk about sexual sin. People, many of the LGBT whatever community, they say that Jesus never said that homosexuality is sin. Well, actually, he did. He didn't have. This was established. In fact, Jesus constantly spoke in reference. He quoted scripture constantly. Isaiah. He would read from. In fact, he even read about him being the Son of Man, who Christ is, the fulfilling the prophecies. But more than that, he also spoke the Mosaic Law. The Mosaic Law very clearly defined, what said that the penalties behind sexual sin, and as a Christian nation, what we used to be, so important that we rebuke the sin, but we love the sinner, and I think that's where so many people go wrong. But the thing that's going on with this particular ruling is that now the thread has been pulled and things are unraveling all over the country. For example, back in the Oberfeld day, the argument was that if you allow this, then what's going to prevent somebody from marrying their dog, their cat, hey, their water heater because it gives me warmth in the morning. I mean, it doesn't. There's no restrictions. Well, that's actually beginning to happen. So in New York, there's 3 men now that the judge says, okay, well, it's time. I mean, that's not how you make law. And so anyway. Now 3 men. There's another case where a young woman wants to marry a model plane that she built. There's just craziness going on all over the world. And when you begin to defile the sanctity and the beauty of the marriage covenant that God created, then this is exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get, just like it speaks of in the beginning of Romans 1, Romans 2, that God gave them over to depraved minds. So here's my prayer. Pray for our nation. Pray for your local community. Pray for your marriage. And pray for these people who are attacking the sanctity and the beauty of how God designed relationship between a man and a woman and the covenant of marriage. I'll be praying for you. Thanks for listening to my thoughts. Talk to you next time.